Hi guys, I'm Monmon from First Four Figures, and we are back again with another launch stream. Today we will be unveiling the third of our Soulcalibur 2 lineup, the Ivy resin statue. We've previously released Taki and Nightmare afterwards, and the feedback was great from you guys. And now we can finally introduce the third member to our Soulcalibur 2 lineup, Ivy! Sexy and intelligent, Ivy has become a staple that one would expect to see when playing any of the games from the Soulcalibur series. Her signature weapon, Valentine, is by far one of the most unique weapons I've seen in a game, and it has the longest reach in Soulcalibur, being a sword that can act as a whip as well. She is standing with her arms raised and crossed, her right hand wielding her weapon, Valentine. She also has one leg in front of the other. This pose is reminiscent of Ivy's artwork in Soulcalibur 2. Her body is curvy, and so our team made sure to include the anatomical details. For example, the sides of her thighs stick out a little around the golden rings, which represents the natural way one's skin would behave when wrapped by something solid and rigid. She also has her signature short hair that is a pale lavender color, and the strands are sculpted so it's more defined. Her fringe falls in front of her left eye, leaving her right eye exposed. And when you look just close enough, you can see a blended purple eyeshadow that gives the really nice smoky effect. Her blue eyes are nicely framed by the eyeshadow, making them stand out as if they were glowing. Now our team also did a great job of designing the eyes to express a strong and determined look. Ivy's makeup matches her outfit, which is mainly purple with gold accessories and details including the gold armor on her left arm. Now her outfit may not leave much for imagination, but it has a lot for you to look at. I meant in terms of the statue details. For instance, the challenge that our team faced was the various textures that they had to emulate in order to represent the different materials the outfit may have been made in, such as leather. Now, the part of the statue that represents the fabric on the majority of Ivy's outfit imitates this texture of caviar leather. But the black trimmings on the edges of the purple parts have a smoother finish to represent a different type of leather that could possibly be used. Now, her collar as well as her gloves also use the same style for the black details. The way our team imitated the texture of leather made it so that the natural creases and wrinkles that you would get from real clothing are present in Ivy's outfit, and that they are realistic. The stitching on the black trimmings also help with keeping Ivy's outfit more true to life. Now, another part of the outfit that is interesting is the mesh material that was imitated at the midsection of Ivy's suit. You can actually see Ivy's midriff and belly button behind the mesh material. This is a really cool detail that helps to represent the material that may have been used if Ivy's outfit were real. The other material that our team wanted to imitate was the gold. As you can see, there are gold details on her collar, straps, underbust, back, arm cuff, and her armor. There are scratches on the gold details to represent the damage that Ivy would have received during a battle. Now, the gold ornament on her collar is sculpted to look carved so as to create depth. The other square gold details on her straps also have a carved look. The look of real gold material was emulated through using a gold paint that will produce a sheen when light reflects off it. There is also the addition of a darker tone to really make the carved details stand out. The imitation of the gold material extends to her armor on her left arm as well. You can see that the plates of armor on Ivy's fingers have been sculpted to emphasize how they are segmented. The part of the armor that covers her knuckles and wrists have also been sculpted to look as if it has parted slightly from the rest of the armor due to movement. The rest of the armor extends down her forearm to her shoulder and from under the wrist. The armor is made up of 4 parts: the forearm, upper arm, elbow, and shoulder. The whole armor has scratch details on the surface to emulate the weathered look that Ivy most likely have gotten from her battles. The paint used is still the same gold with a sheen. Just like the other gold details, a darker tone has also been added to make the armor look worn. The gold features on Ivy's shoes as well as thighs also use the same techniques, and thanks to our team's meticulous care, the gold texture is consistent through and through. The same style of emulating gold can be seen on Ivy's signature weapon, Valentine, as well. Here she is wielding the sword form, and at the base of the sword is the gold detail that looks shattered and a round green gem. The material is translucent and allows for light to shine through, much like how light will shine through real gems. The same gem design can be seen on her right hand, which is wielding the sword. The handle has a brown segmented detail and is textured to imitate leather material as well. The blade of the sword itself is painted with silver to give the impression of metal. Our team also made sure to replicate the design that runs down the middle of the sword. So to display the beautiful and strong ivy, we've also included a simple round black base that has the Soulcalibur logo on the top of it in an embossed design. The sides of the base have a carved look on the edges as well. This base extends to the exclusive edition as well, but more than that, our exclusive edition comes with a feature that will help represent Ivy even more. So without further ado, let me show you the exclusive edition of Ivy. And here she is, the exclusive edition of Ivy resin statue, which will include a detachable whip form of Valentine, as well as the detachable sword form from the standard edition, which you guys can interchange based on your preference. Now let me introduce you to the whip form, because it is breathtaking. Valentine transforms into the whip-like form by separating into various segments that are connected by a single gold rope. This rope of segments coil around Ivy, and it has an effect that frames her. Each segment had the same meticulous treatment from our team at F4F. The insides of each segment had also been painted so it looks complete even on its own. Now, the gold rope in between each segment also has segmented details that makes it look as if it is extended out into the whip form. The seams in between those tiny gold segments are indented for texture as well. The inclusion of these intricate details was a challenge in terms of painting, as well as the texture of the different materials has to be consistent in shade and finish. Now, the gold had to look gold, the metal had to look metal. Well, you get the deal. The whip form is connected with a posable material that will let you adjust the shape. Here we've coiled Valentine around Ivy, but you could instead adjust it in different ways. We can't wait to see how you guys will display your snake sword. Now, as I've mentioned, you guys can interchange between the whip and sword forms of Valentine based on your preference. So feel free to let us know in the comments which one you'd like to display first. Now, as I was saying, you can have options on how to display and tell Ivy's story. So with this statue, the replication of the finish of various different materials proved to be difficult in the painting stage. It was a lot of work that was put in by our team, so I'm glad I get to share their challenges with you guys, and I hope that we can all share a deeper appreciation for our artists at F4F. And what better way to share a deeper appreciation than watch a recap of all the amazing features in both the standard and exclusive editions of Ivy resin statue. Our artists at F4F never cease to impress with their dedication to our statues. A prime example would be this, the definitive edition of Ivy resin statue. And to introduce this edition with me is our newest member from our marketing team, Eliza.
Hi guys, I'm excited to be here because this edition of Ivy remains impressively detailed, beautiful, and includes both interchangeable sword and whip versions of Valentine. What's unique about our definitive edition is the resin base inspired by Ivy homestage in Soulcalibur 2, Egyptian crypt. This crypt is said to lie underneath the old ruin that housed the mural surrounding of Soul Age. As the name suggests, this homestage was inspired by Egyptian design. We also got it behind us right here.
That's right! An obvious feature is the Eye of Ra design, which our team has replicated part of it in the background of the base. So it looks more like ruins. A vibrant blue was used for the majority of the eye's design and is outlined with a thin gold trim. There are scratches to show how ancient the crypt may have been, as well as to show the damage from the countless battles that players have had on this stage. The blue has different shades across the design of the Eye of Ra to create dimension, as well as to imitate the material it may have been made in if it were real. The smoothness and the sheen is reminiscent of alabaster.
In contrast to the smoothness, the back of the Eye of Ra has a rough texture to emulate the broken edge and feel of actual rocks. The small broken piece of rock on the side also emulates the same texture. And it has had a dark color painted into the groove to emphasize the jagged edge further. The green also looks worn out, as the dark colors look like as they seeped into the crack and scratches. The base that Ivy is sitting on though, oh, it is so pretty.
Oh, I totally get your excitement. The granite texture on the cross design, iconic. You actually see the various colors of specks that you'd see in real alabaster. Our team mentioned the difficulty they faced when it came down to painting, as it was hard to make the specks look realistic. But as you can see, it came out awesome. At the center of the cross design is a red gem framed by silver triangles. There's also gold details on the cross, which have the same consistent texture as the rest of the gold details you see on the statue. The floor tiles are also textured, and they have cracks of varying sizes to show how the floors may have weathered throughout the years if they were real.
Yeah, the base sides are designed and sculptured to look like wood, including the blue rim. The texture of the wood is emulated by using irregular lines that runs across the whole side of the base. The front of the base is inspired by the ornament in the middle of the art that stands in the center of the background. And there's a red gem in the middle framed by a silver circle with gold line details. On the other side of the gem are two stones that are purple with golden detailing. In the background of the design is a symmetrical shape with a scale-like design framed by a darker gold with a subtle dark orange to represent the deterioration likely to have occurred if the crypt was real.
The texturing is particularly impressive as we move on to the large wing piece at the front of the base. The feathers on the wings are sculpted to look separate from one another. This helps to emphasize the layered effect you'd see in real wings with feathers. The material that our team has replicated here is alabaster as well. You can see the hint of green as well as grainy specks that run across the wings, which not only gives depth but is telling of the age we're trying to represent here. So as you can see, the various materials that our team has emulated in this whole statue required a lot of care and effort in both painting and sculpting. And despite the challenges, our team did a wonderful job of bringing Ivy and her home stage to life.
Before we move on, the definitive edition of Ivy, it will include both the sword and whip version of her signature weapon Valentine, which are interchangeable based on how you'll prefer. So now, let's watch and recap all the features in the definitive edition of the Ivy resin statue. Roll the clip!
Great recap as always. Now that we've introduced the third member of our Soulcalibur 2 lineup, Ivy, it is only right to present her side by side with our previously released Taki and Nightmare. For those of you who want to complete the collection, here's how they'd look together.
With each release, our lineup, we see the commitment our team at F4F has to perfect each piece we present. We hope you guys enjoy the sharing of the various challenges our team faced during development. Ivy presented obstacles, but our team persevered, and we're proud of it.
So with that being said, let's move on to pricing. For the standard edition of Ivy Resin Statue, the price is as follows, and it will be available for pre-order on our website, first4figures.com, and at your local retailer. For the exclusive edition of Ivy Resin Statue, the price is as follows and will be available for pre-order only on our website, first4figures.com. This statue will include both the whip and the sword form of her weapon, Valentine, which will be interchangeable. For the definitive edition of Ivy, the price is as follows and will be available for pre-order only on our website, first4figures.com. This statue will include both the whip and sword forms of her weapon, Valentine, which will be interchangeable, as well as a resin base inspired by her homestage, Egyptian crypt. So, to recap, these are the prices for all editions. All prices indicated here exclude local taxes and shipping. So, for example, the EU, UK, and Australia regions' prices will look different on our website as they are already inclusive of sales tax. We are running an early bird offer that will last for 2 weeks from today, so be sure to place your orders quickly within that time frame to take advantage of this limited time offer. For website pre-orders, we offer payment plans with extra fees for those who wish to purchase in installments. We have warehouses in the following locations, which means no import fees for these regions. Shipping costs to your country are estimated at checkout time. The final cost will be shown on the invoice, which will be sent to your registered email when your order is ready to ship. Thank you for joining us in our launch stream for our Ivy Resin Statue. Check us out on our website, first4figures.com, for more details, and follow us on our social media channels so you don't miss out on future Soulcalibur news and teasers.
We also have an amazing community on Facebook called the First 4 Figures Official Collectors Club, where we chat with our members, run polls, post behind-the-scene content, giveaways, and much more. So, don't forget to check us out.
Lastly, pre-orders are now open, links are in the description. And that concludes today's launch stream. Thanks again, guys, for joining us today. F4F is love.
F4F is life.
And we shall see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.